Hello everyone, haha. Today is a new day, an exciting day, and this is your boy Randy Nova, and this is Over Tutorials, the easy way to learn. Today I'm here to create a very controversial wallpaper that portrays Lionel Messi as the god of modern football. You know, I know many people are going to get pissed off with this kind of thing because some people believe that they have players in their teams like Real Madrid believe they have C Ronaldo, which is who is better than Messi. Chelsea people believe they have people like Hazard, Joan Mata, and all those people who are better than Lionel Messi. And a lot of people might argue about the fact that Lionel Messi is not extraordinary like the way this wallpaper is trying to portray him to be. Here, Lionel Messi is proclaiming himself as a god of modern football, and beside him, there's no other. There's no other person like him. He's the best. Not even Neymar will come close. So this is what the wallpaper is trying to create, and I know this thing is very controversial, but what the idea here is just to show you how to use Photoshop to create wallpapers like this, and not to just advertise Lionel Messi. It's not That's not the reason at all. So here I'll teach you how to create something like this. The things that you may need in order to the images that you may need in order to get such a work is one. Let me show them to you. You have to get like a message picture. You have to get fire. You have to get a colorful background and then fire another sample of fire. So you get two types of fires. You get like a messy and get a colorful background. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to create a new file and create a new document and make the size A4, make the name Lionel Messi wallpaper, and make sure the color mode is RGB and press OK. The next thing I'm going to do is to rotate the size of the canvas, the orientation of the canvas to landscape. So I'll go to image, I'll come to image rotation, and I'll come to 90 degrees clockwise, and I'll rotate it like this. I'll choose the color and I'll add black. I'll color it with deep black. Let me press Control bracket on the right, Control plus to zoom in to increase the size of the, let me say zoom in to the image. Now I'm going to go to the folder where I've placed the downloaded images and make sure I select all of them, and I'll carry them and drop them simultaneously. I'll be pressing enter so that they will be dropping one by one. And now that they are all on the field, what I need to do is to minimize, hide the layers below Lionel Messi's picture. Hold shift and drag the side of the points of Lionel Messi's pictures to increase the size of it. Press enter to say OK. Wow, the next thing I'm going to do now, this step is one of the boring steps upon all the works, because here you have to take your time to trim the picture out, and I think it's very boring. But after you're done with this one, the rest is so simple. The tool I'm going to use to do this then is the magnetic lasso tool, because it enables me to move fast. If I can use the pen tool or the lasso tool, but it's because of the fastness that I want to move. That's why I'm using the magic lasso tool. So I'll trace around the Messi's picture. if I make a mistake, the only thing is I'll press delete to go back to the previous anchor point before I made that mistake, so that I can get a perfect trim. Okay, this is the step I'm gonna go. So now I think in order to fast forward our trimming, what I need to do is just pause it, and when I'm done with the trimming or the tracing, I'll come back to you so that we'll continue. Okay, so now let's go for a break. Okay, now we are back from the break. Hope you enjoy your break time. Anyway, I'm getting closer to the end of the tracing. So now I'm done with the tracing. Let me zoom out to see the work itself. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this bar here. Some call it menu bar. I don't really know the name for it, but I think I'm gonna go this bar here and choose this button here that says refine edge, and to open a dialog box for you. What it does is that it gives you opportunity to view the image on a black background. I mean, the same way you did at first, on an overlay background, on a white background, black and white, on a transparent background, or image reveal. This is the information it gives you. I mean, I think for it to work well, I think you have to use a background and a black and white. So the best way to continue to refine your edges is to use the edge detection, and that the more you increase the radius, the more it trims the edges for you. You come to adjust edge, and what I'll do here, I'll just smoothen it out. But before I do that, let me choose the view to black and white. So if I'm smoothing it out, I'll know the way it's working. I'm smoothing it out, add a little contrast to it. Yeah. So now you can see we've gotten a very fine trimming here. The next thing I'm gonna do is output it to a new layer. I press OK, and we are done here. So I choose the select tool, and I can see we came from this place to that place. Now this is the fun part of it. Let's reduce the size of the message to let's make it smaller, because we got a lot of things to add here. Yeah, let's rotate it so that it stands like this. And now let's go to image, adjustment, levels, and try and add some contrast to the work and make it blend with the background intensity a little. And press OK. The next thing I'm gonna do here is to select the layer, go to image, go to photo filter, and add about 48 degrees or 50 degrees warming filter to it, and I'll just press OK. So now we have something like this, which is cool. Now we are getting close to our work. Let's reveal the cool background. Right click and rasterize the layer. If you rasterize it, let's duplicate it with Ctrl J and hide the first one. And now what we are going to do is that we are going to push it up to the top here. And we are going to blend it with eraser tool to the background. So this is what I mean by blending it to the background. Yeah, something like this. It's cool. The next movement is we are going to create a new layer on top of the colorful background, and we are going to take choose the color orange, and we are going to take the brush tool and we'll paint on top of the orange color, on top of the background, the colorful background. Now the next thing I'm going to do is drag it down to the below the background layer, and I select the background layer and transform it to overlay, or maybe let's make it lighter color. No, lighter color won't work. Okay, let's make it hard light. Hard light will give something like this, which is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to increase the size of the background, color background, so that we get some colorful thing like this. Now we are going to add a magic to the work. Let me select an messy, take the eraser to and erase part of its body so that it blends with the background. The next thing I'm going to do here is we are going to select the fire layer, reduce the size of it, crush it a little, stretch it a little, and press OK. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is rasterize it by right clicking and choosing rasterize layer. We take the I call it magic wand. Yeah, the magic wand too. And now sample all the black colors within the fire image, and I'll delete them. It look nasty actually. At the end you're gonna get a perfect job, which is so cool. So the next thing I'm gonna do again is to take the eraser tool and erase the nasty part of the fire. Just feel free, erase it. Feel free. Just make sure that the work, most of the fire is being shown more than the black outline. Maybe you have a different formula to bring the fire out from the black background, but because of time I choose to do it like this so that we can hurry up. No, we want to hurry up. Hurry up. So now that I'm done with this, I will duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it, and I will adjust it to the head of Lionel Messi, bring it on top of its layer to cover its face like this, stretch it down, reduce the size of the canvas, like zoom out and stretch it a little like this. Take the same thing, reduce this one, the size of it, and place it also on top of Lionel Messi's layer. Okay, so now we'll be adjusting the color, the fire on Lionel Messi's body until it works well. So I'll just place this one here, reduce the size of this one too, and also bring it on top of Lionel Messi's layer. Yeah. So now the magic here is that I'm gonna, let's bring this one to on top of Lionel Messi's layer. The magic here is that I'm gonna use the eraser to erase unnecessary parts of the images so that they blend with Lionel Messi. So that is one too. Now let me erase some parts so that it bends Lionel Messi's hand. Let me select this one too and shift it down a little bit and take the eraser tool and erase the unnecessary part of the fire. So now we are getting close to the final work. So now what I'm going to do now is go select this one, reduce the opacity of it so that I can see the face of Lionel Messi, and try and erase the fire to reveal Lionel Messi out of the fire. If I get something like this, I think it's cool. Increase opacity back. No, let me go back and leave some part of his face covered. So let me erase this side, erase that side, erase this side. It looks good, looks nice. It looks nice and looks cool. Now what I'm gonna do here is to duplicate this one and place it at the back of Lionel Messi layer, so just below Lionel Messi's layer, and I'll stretch it like this. It looks like the Messi is seriously burning in hell. Haha. But I wonder what Lionel Messi is trying to tell God though, because it looks like he's burning in hell, like, but he's enjoying the burning as if he's the one who created the burning. Yes, doesn't give a fuck. He loves hell more than anywhere. Like heaven, he loves hell because the hellfire cannot even quench him, cannot even do harm to him. It's so invisible. It's so invincible that hellfire cannot even burn him. Yeah, this is the kind of people that I love. People who don't care about situations, man. They just make bad situations look so good that you even feel like falling into a bad situation yourself. This guy is a pure advertiser. I love him. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to increase the intensity of this, that. So I'm going to go to image adjustment levels and increase the intensity of this one so that it becomes darker. See when the mess is truly burning. I'll do the same thing to the rest of the images, the fire images. Like everything looks so serious. Well, so we are getting there little by little. We are getting to the final work, and it's beautiful how difficult we thought it was in the beginning, but now we are getting to the final work, and it's becoming as easy as ABCD. Now what I'm gonna do now again is to take Lionel Messi and duplicate it. I change the blend mode to overlay. No, let me change the blend mode to add mix, vivid light. No, let me change them to add light. I'm changing the blend mode to add light. And I'm going to take like this one of these fires duplicate it with press Alt, duplicate it, and blend it with Dynamex's hand. So let me reduce the size of it. So this size, and adjust it so that when I press and I blend them, it will blend smoothly with Dynamex. So I'll go to overlay and I'll choose lighter color, or maybe let me choose overlay. And I'll erase some parts of the fire that is not needed. So I erase it like this. So now it becomes something like this. I will also take this one, duplicate it, do the same thing I did with the left hand, and choose overlay and create that same effect. You see, so now we are creating something which is so interesting. Let me duplicate this layer and choose I'll duplicate the layer and I will choose, let me go back, Ctrl ZZ, and I'll choose linear dodge add. That will create something like this. It will create something like this, and I'll just take the eraser tool and I'll wipe some part of the body. I think we need to work on this part of Dynamex a little bit because it doesn't really look cool. We are working on the fire because we want it to look cool, we want it to look nice. So here we try such a thing like this. Let's stretch this fire and erase some part of it. Let's reduce the size of this fire too, so that it doesn't bend too much, and erase unnecessary part of it. Do the same thing to this one too. Now what we are doing here right now is we are experimenting with the fire so that we get a perfect work. So let's keep on experimenting with the fire, get a perfect work. If you make any mistake, you can go back to erase it. But I think that experimenting is working like the way you want it to work. Yeah, it's working. So this is something that you want to get. Take this one to erase it a little. Take this layer to erase it a little so that it looks something like this. So now this thing is so cool. We go to Dynamex again, all the two layers, and blend them and mesh them together. I go to image, adjustment, levels, increase the level a little. So Dynamex will totally bend. And that is totally bent. We are going to create a text, and the way to create this text is by first selecting a text, and writing anything you want to write. Make sure the font is Arial black, the color is white, and write anything you want to write. Increase the size of it like this and place it in front of the layer of everything, like on top of every layer. Now we go to the second fire. This is where the second fire is needed. We reduce the size of it and we bring it on top of all the layers. We do that by holding Control and pressing the right bracket to bring it on top of curly bracket to bring it on top of all the layer. We hold Control and press the curly bracket to bring it on top of all the layers. We stretch it up and reduce the side, reduce it down like this. Press OK. Now we will hold Control, select the God text layer, the text layer for the God, and we click on it. Whilst we hold Control, we click on the layer to make a selection. We go to the fire layer and we'll Control J to duplicate it. Now we'll get something like this. Cool. This is so cool, man. I love it. So we get something like this, which is so cool, so wonderful. And the next thing we are going to do now is to go to image, adjustments, levels, and add some intensity to the text. Yeah, some intensity to the text, and now we get something as cool as this. Now we have to use our brain to do a little kind of adjustment. So I want to place this fire here. I want to place the fire here so that the text will appear as if it is burning. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select any of the fires like this one, copy it, duplicate it, bring it on top of the layer of the text and reduce the size of it and place it at the edges of the text. When you place them at the edges of the text, it appears as if the text is burning if you blend them together. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the eraser tool and I'm gonna blend them together like this. So it creates the illusion of the text burning. It creates the illusion of the text burning. If it doesn't work, you keep on trying until it works. Create the illusion of the text burning. Duplicate it and reduce the size of it so that this part also burns. And I want to play with it till it looks real. I think little by little we are creating the effect that we want to create. And we are getting there soon. Now let's place this fire on top of the text also, and it will look like something like this. Let's reduce the size of it so it will look like something like this. Whoa, now the next step, let me duplicate this layer and place it on top of the text. So now we are almost done with the work and we are getting to the end of it. And you can see how fun it was to learn this tutorial. It's not as easy as many people thought it is. It's not as difficult as if many people thought it is. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. Duplicate the same layer again, and let's stretch it. But so that it burns. Let's clean the part. So it burns. So this is what the burning that we want to imitate. So we are getting close to the final of our work. Now what we need to do now is to go to, let's increase the intensity of these colors a little, levels, add some darkness to them. Do the same thing to this one. Do the same thing to this one. I think this one's almost cool. Yeah, there's no problem with this one. Well, the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to the cool background layer, the original one, bring it on top of all the layers, stretch it so that it covers the entire board, and change the blend mode to overlay. If you change the blend mode to overlay, or let's maybe change the blend mode to, let's say, not overlay. Overlay is not so cool here. No, let's change the blend mode to this soft light. Yeah, let's change the blend mode to soft light, and I think this one works a little. We are getting close to what we intended doing. Now take the eraser to, what I'll do is that I will try and erase some part of the orange layer. Erase some part of the orange layer. You start getting an effect like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is select this layer and here in saturation and choose colorize. If you choose colorize, what it's going to do is that it's going to change all the colors into one particular kind of color. Increase the saturation so that it creates this kind of brownish red color effect. And you press OK. When you press OK, now you're almost done. Let's lock this layer so that it doesn't interfere in our work. The next thing I'm going to do now is to just write the rest of the text, and we will be done with the work. Now let's duplicate the background layer again and change the blend mode to overlay and reduce opacity. Okay. Or let's make it something like multiply. No, it doesn't work. Okay, let's make it okay, let's leave it on pin light and take the eraser to and erase some part of the image that we don't need the pin light to be there. So now what we are going to do again is to write the rest of the text. Write the rest of the text. So let's say king of modern football. Do the same thing. Area black. God of God of modern football. So something like this. God of modern God of modern football. Okay, so if we get something like this, you write it here, place it under Lionel Messi. I will go back to the file layer again. Let's first lock these layers up. You are disturbing me. What the fuck? Reduce the size of the file layer. And we just duplicate that football text from the file layer. So we just select the football layer, control click, and just duplicate it from it. Control click, select the file layer, which is this one, and we control J to duplicate it. We hide this one, we hide that one, and we get something like this. The next thing I'm going to do is to increase the level darkness in it, and it will be cool. Now we are almost done with the work. We're almost done with the work. Let's now select another text and change the font size to bold instead of, and let's make it red. Let's sample the red for Lionel Messi's shirt, and let's write beside me dot 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 dot. There is no other. Let's change the color to make it more reddish. More reddish. Okay, more oranges. So let's do it like this. Instead of red, let's make it orange. The size of it, so that it looks like this. Now just select the God text, duplicate it, and create overlay. No, create a soft light. Mesh both together. After merging both together, I'll just take the eraser tool and I'll just erase the edges of the text. The edges of the text. So now it looks like this. Very cool. So I get something like this. The next thing I'm going to do, that is the final work. I'm just going to select a new layer and apply black paint to it. I'm going to take the eraser tool and I'm going to erase some part of It's not every part I'm gonna erase. I'm gonna erase some parts so that the work becomes intensified. So almost we are done with the work. We are almost done with the work. Next thing I'm gonna do is just lock this thing up and erase some part of the O. So it also blends with a background. Let's adjust the mercy a little. Let's increase some kind of add some kind of level to it. So this is it, man. This is it. This is it. We are done with the work. Finally, we are done with the work. And look how beautiful it is. How nice it is. Yes. So thank you very much once again. My name is Randy Nova, and this is Over Tutorials. You can follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Ovatising, or Twitter @Ovatising, or pinterest.com/Ovatising, or Google Plus, which is Google Plus/Ovatising. When you go to YouTube, you see just type Ovatising and it will open our YouTube channel for you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope you love this tutorial. Watch out for the next tutorial coming soon. And this is Randy Nova, a graphic designer, animator, and photo manipulator at Over Tutorials. Thank you once again. Bye.